you? Tired of a long day? Don't know what to make for dinner? Got too much crap to choose from on the shelves? Let's raid that pantry and make some one-pot risotto. Now this recipe could not be any simpler. You could make this with any sort of meat you want. But get yourself a nice hot pot, and I went with some sweet Italian sausage. Now you can use hot, you can use ground chicken, you can use ground beef, you can use anything you want for this. Just for all that's good reason, make sure you remove the paper from the back of the sausage. That's very hot, be careful. Oh my God, John, why would you do this to yourself? Always make sure that paper is removed. And then you're just gonna brown this up until it's nice and cooked through. All right, now the fun part begins, where now we can raid the pantry. So once all your meat is perfectly browned off and cooked off like that, nice and crumbly, ooh, look at that, all fancy. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna grab yourself a jar of Alfredo sauce. It's about a 14.5 ounce jar, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's pretty much a standard jar of Alfredo sauce on the shelf. You want to empty that whole thing in there, and then you want to fill that jar almost to the top. You want to leave a little bit of headspace in the jar with water, just from the tap, and then you want to make sure you shake it up so you kind of get all that extra, you know, Alfredo sauce goodness from the inside of the jar. Yeah, just like that. You want to shake it up, and then you're going to want to add that entire thing to the pan. And I always add just a little bit more for like that extra head space. So the ratio is literally 1 jar of sauce, 1 can of water. And then you're gonna wanna season this thing. Now, you can pretty much season this however you want. I always go for the standard, a little salt, a little pepper, some garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you want. We're just raiding the pantry. We're not doing anything fancy. We're just using the spices we have up there. If you want to get a little bold, maybe use a little gochugaru powder, you know, a little spiciness, you know, just if you happen to have it up in the cabinet. You can use red pepper flake, whatever you want. However you want to season it, make it taste good. Trust your gut, people. I never measure. Now, if you really want to make this thing harder, you can raid that pantry, grab yourself a can of white beans, and just dump those right in there. Of course, drain them first. And then you're going to want to just mix it all together and bring this to a boil. Then, once it's brought to a boil, you're going to add a cup of long grain white rice. Just basic cooking rice, people. We're not using the arborio stuff. We're just using the regular rice that you should have in the thing. But don't use instant rice. That is completely different. And then you're going to bring this back to a boil. Then you're going to slap a lid on it. And you're gonna wait 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, your rice will be completely cooked. Give it a nice little stir. Look how delicious, thick, and creamy. Is that a red bean? I got a red bean in my can of white beans. Oh, it's not the first time. But yes, here we go. It is fully cooked. It is creamy. The rice is tender. But the real question is, how does it taste? Yep, that's good stuff. Now all you gotta do is get yourself a fancy little bowl. Doesn't have to be fancy, but does not hurt to be fancy. Portion yourself out a nice little bit of that delicious rice. Get a nice little sprinkling of Parmesan cheese. Little glug of some nice olive oil. And a little green stuff on top. A little dried parsley or fresh parsley, whatever you have in the house. Make it look nice and fancy, and then it's time to eat. Or not.